folks, Chris Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com, thechrisvossshow.com. Current blog post we want to share with you, of course, review the latest in social media and technology. This is the new AT&T.com Samsung Galaxy S4 Active. And this is the active version of the popular S4 from Samsung. You can go to AT&T.com and check it out. Thanks to them for providing the phones for us today. We review all the major phones from all the major phone companies, so be sure to like and subscribe to us on YouTube so you can see our future videos. Now, I'm a big fan of the S4. In fact, I feel it's the best phone on the market currently as of this video. And I'm really in love with the S4 Active. I really like it. Some major differences with the S4 Active is it's water resistant and dust resistant. It actually has a gasket built into the back. You can go into 1 meter of water for up to 30 minutes based upon its IP67 rating. It has an 8 megapixel camera on it instead of the 13 megapixel that comes with the normal S4. So kind of a downer there, but that 8 megapixel still pretty good camera. Also, the difference is on the Active there are actual buttons for both the menu and the back, where normally on the Samsung S4 they're capacitive touchscreen buttons. And I gotta tell you, I actually like these buttons. I like them a lot. I like them much better than the S4. So it's very cool. It's got a stronger, heavier duty build. We'll show you that here in a second as we go through all the different stuff. It's a little bit bigger, it's a little bit wider, and a little bit thicker. So let's talk about some of the details that are in the Samsung Galaxy S4. And like I say, I am very impressed with it, and I actually love it. Now, what it's got inside of it is a rear-facing camera, like we said, 8 megapixels. It's still got 4 times digital zoom, 1080p, and 2 megapixel front-facing camera. There's not much difference other than what I pointed out to you from the Samsung normal to the Active. Now, one major difference is because it's water resistant, you can take it into the water. So there's actually an Aqua Mode where you can take underwater photos and post them on Facebook as soon as you get out of the water. So that's kind of an interesting thing they've added to it. You have Aqua Mode. I thought that was pretty cool. Now, on here, you of course have your Bluetooth, USB. Your battery is a 2600 milliamp hour battery, giving you talk time up to 1700 hours, and standby of up to 13 days. On the dimensions, like I said, a little bit bigger, a little bit thicker, a little bit wider. We'll show you here in a bit. 5.5 inches in height, 2.81 in width, and 0.36 in thickness. The weight's a little bit more, also 5.29 in the weight. Chipset is very similar. It's a 1.9 gigahertz quad core. The chipset's a little bit numbered a little bit differently. So I don't know if there was any really advancements made. It does Geekbench around 32 to 3300, much like the S4 does, and it has up to 16 gigabytes of internal memory, up to 64 expandable memory with a micro SD card in the back. RAM is 2 gigahertz. It has near-field communications. It runs on 4.2 Jelly Bean Android operating system. The display size is 5 inches, much like the normal S4. 441 ppi, 16 million colors. Not much difference here between the two. So let's take a look. We'll give you an idea as to the difference here and see if we can't show that to you. We've got an S4 standing beside the Active. You can see here it's a little bit taller, pretty definite, a little bit wider, and a little bit thicker in its build and how it does stuff. But it's a really beautiful look, and I like the colors that are on it and everything else. So let's take a good look at those. Now, not much has changed like in the way of menu. It's pretty much going to be the same sort of system that you may already be used to and all that good stuff with the Samsung. So we're not going to get too much into the OS and everything else. We did a Geekbench Test on it. Geekbench Test came in at, I believe, 3200, if I recall rightly. And that's pretty much in par and process with how the normal S4 is coming out at. So let's see if we can't find some screenshots here of the Geekbench score. We'll find this for you. There we go. 3215 is what we scored in on the Geekbench 2 score for the Samsung Galaxy Active. So it's a great phone. Now, I love the buttons of the capacitive touchscreen that normally would be here. I love having these buttons because I know where they're at. I know I can click them. I can feel the spacer between them. I actually like this home button. This home button is pretty cool looking and very functional. Okay, so I like that. You've got your speaker up at the top, you've got your front-facing camera and your sensors, much like you have on the S4. Let's go ahead and flip this baby over so you can see it. It's got a really cool looking back. It's got these kind of rivets here on both ends, and it's got a really hard plastic, really thick, heavy-duty thing that can kind of give you the impression that maybe it can survive some drops a little more. Although, depending upon where it drops, there still is this plastic part that you find on the S4. So, it's anybody's game as to what happens when a phone takes and gets dropped. You've got of course, your volume rocker over here. You've got this is one of the other features I should probably mention. It's very different than the S4. It actually has a plug to keep the water out, of course, that you can take and plug in and be able to charge and sync your device. And of course, you can plug that baby in there, and it will make it so you can do water mode. You've got a microphone, of course. You've got your power button over here, place to pull off the back of the cover. You've got, of course, your IR blaster here, so you can use this with TVs and other remote control devices. You've got a kind of extra heavy-duty area here for your earpiece and a microphone piece. Now, the other element of this, it's very interesting in the build of the Active, is how they help make it waterproof. There is a gasket, if you see here, going around the outside of the internal guts. You can see the kind of the ring around that the gasket covers that protects the battery, the SIM card, and your micro SD card. And so that gasket is, I guess, what's going to help protect your Samsung when you decide to take it swimming. So it's got some really extra locking down things you have to do. There seems to be a lot of locking you have to do to get it done. It's not a big deal, but you just to make sure they're all locked down if you want to take this and go in the water, so that the gaskets can be in there. All in all, I'm very impressed with the phone. I really, really like it. It's actually, I'm actually using it secondary to my S4, and I'll use this one day, use my S4 the next day, and everything else. And in the end, I really love the Active and been using it more and more. So I'm very impressed with it from that angle. So I highly recommend it. 2 thumbs up. It's a great phone. You can go to the website at AT&T.com. That's AT&T.com. Tell them Chris Voss sent you. Chris Voss tested, Chris Voss approved. Be sure to check into the ChrisVossShow.com often for all the latest and greatest from us. Be sure to like us and subscribe to us on YouTube. Thanks for coming by.